Just got to tell him one on his king. I always wanted to dissect this guy right here. This guy, right? Look, let's go and break this down. Dissect Orlando Brown. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? He was young, man, in Hollywood. You remember that movie Major Payne? Back in the early 90s, he was a little boy on there, man. Like, he been in Hollywood forever. So he's seen a lot, did a lot. I mean, crazy. So he lost his mind. When you give, kids and stuff like that, when they're young and they get over the millions and they get the millions and then they get, you know, invited to the parties and then they see things. Now, I say 50% of the stuff he be talking about is real. It's just a lot of the time he just be on some weirdo shit. He be just saying things, but 50%, like I said, man, I think it's real. I really do. So, look at that. Examine Hollywood. I mean, he's a prime example right here. He's a prime example of what Hollywood do to you when you get in that field when you're young too. I'm surprised he ain't, lost his mind like all the way. Like he got he got some screws loose, but he ain't went all the way out yet. Not yet. Saying let's knock on wood on that one, but seriously, on that note, since Scotty Chinaman one and only king, I always wanted to tell you this, like, this is what Hollywood does to you, man. After a while, if you don't play by their rules, then they eventually blackball you. They'll eventually do some wild shit. They eventually, make you look like the crazy one. But see, with this guy right here, Orlando, every day, every time I see, seeing an interview of him, he's telling it all. But he, at the meantime, he is losing his mind in the process. And I hope he's not a victim, because, growing up and being in that kid, era, I hope he ain't been touched. When he write that book and get that book out and really get into his zone, he never know. It's going to come out, man. I bet he got a whole lot to say. We just going to have to wait to find out, because he is, like I said, 50% of it, I'm like, yeah, I believe it. And the other 50, I'm like, oh, no, man. He might be spicing it up, but he going to come out with that book. And I definitely know he got more to tell us, man. Orlando Brown, Hollywood Exposed, coming soon. Yep. Just got to tell him, man, one and only king. Crazy, deranged.